Our journey through Mark, we come to the feeding of the 5,000 in Mark chapter 6. It's a unique story with this motley crew of characters. You got Jesus, some disciples, a crowd, and this little boy. This story is unique in that it's the only miracle other than Jesus' resurrection that's told in all four gospel narratives. Mark and Luke refer to it as a miracle. I kind of like that John refers to it as a sign. You see, because signs always point to something greater. Signs guide us toward a destination, but they are not the destination itself. So, if this miracle is a sign, what is it pointing to? Mark tells us that the disciples have just returned from mission work in the surrounding villages. The disciples returned, telling Jesus about the amazing things they saw and of people's hearts changing. But you can almost hear their enthusiasm wane as they tell Jesus the unfortunate news that Jesus' cousin, John the Baptist, was just executed. Jesus responds in verse 31. He says this to them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." In that place of grief and exhaustion, Jesus leads people to a quiet place for rest. Jesus was mourning and his disciples were tired. Can you relate? So Jesus leads this group of people to the other side of the lake to find rest. And as they approach the other side of the lake, instead of finding a place for rest, they see a massive crowd. Mark's narrative says Jesus' response in verse 34, when Jesus landed and saw the large crowd, he had compassion on them. In the midst of his own need, he saw theirs. Even though his plans were delayed, he still saw them. You see, Jesus never saw people as an interruption. He always stopped for the one, or in this case, the many. How does that strike you? In your rush to meet your own needs, check off items on your new to-do list, take care of needs of family and friends, and reach out to everybody, make sure you're taking care of everybody. How do you feel about this life's big interruption? How do we live like Jesus in the midst of all of this? Yes, we must see others, but also model Jesus' lifestyle. Jesus exemplifies this perfect life, the unhurried, fully aware life. Dallas Willard had this great response once when he was asked if he could describe Jesus in one word. He responded, relaxed. In other words, Jesus was never in a hurry to be anywhere other than where he was. I wonder if the most countercultural response to the situations we're facing today is to respond with calmness, to showcase to our families and friends what it means to look like Jesus. Maybe look a little more relaxed, and in doing so, showcase what it means to actively trust God and open ourselves up to his interruptions. You see, we'll make a difference in the world by being different than the world, not scattered and hurried, but present. In Mark 6, Jesus fed the hungry. We know he also healed the sick earlier in the chapter. He also calmed storms. I wonder if what he may be doing to our community is calming us. And not only is he calming us, he's also involving us. You see, although God could have fed the people by creating something from nothing like he did in the beginning, let's not forget that in this, he uses a little boy's lunch. This story can remind us that generosity should not spark anxiety. I know we often worry that if we give, there won't be enough left for us, but that's not how life works in God's economy. See, we may operate out of this law of scarcity, but God operates out of a law of abundance. When we live with open hands, there is enough for everyone. Although the story is often referred to as the feeding of the 5,000, Scripture elsewhere notes that only the men were likely counted, not the women or the children. And notice who Jesus involved in the miracle, a little boy. He wouldn't even have been counted in the 5,000. The one the world counted out, Jesus invited in to use. This kid came to the party with barely enough lunch for himself, yet through this little boy's generous offering, everyone was fed. What are you doing with what you have? God was reaching down to the little boy then, and he's reaching to us now asking, will you join me? I'm up to something, but you're going to have to depend on me because I am enough. This was what the miracle was pointing to in the first place. Jesus alone is enough. He is the hope, and he can take the little that we bring and do miraculous with it. Let's not forget, he's calming us, and friends, He's involving us. Let's open up our hands.